Dear distinguished guests, dear professors, dear students, it's a great honor to welcome you to Moldova State University to our final event of the project, CONNECT4MORE, Connecting Estonia and Moldova for European Readiness Innovative Education. Project that actually today we will celebrate our success for more than 10 years of cooperation between University of Kharkiv, between University of Moldova State University, for strengthening deeper European integration of Republic of Moldova. CONNECT4MORE is successful, the third successful project that is actually represents a continuity of the two previous projects, Best for Me and East for More. The main goal of these three projects and cooperation for more than 3 years successful was the strengthening the digital transformation of the higher education in the Republic of Moldova, bringing innovative, inclusive and future-oriented digital competencies and new forms of education to the wider academic community in the Republic of Moldova. Looking forward for our previous years or our past year, this year activities in our project were concentrated over enhancing the digital transformation of the higher education in the Republic of Moldova, enhancing the digital competencies of the professors, not only of our faculty, but also in faculties of some major faculties of the Moldovan State University. I'm referring to economy, foreign languages, law, and also some private institutions also were involved in these activities. Over this year, we had two major, more events, more activities that we're going to analyze today. But also the most important that I would like to present as example was in May, when more than 150 professors from the Republic of Moldova were involved in a training, online training, forming digital competencies, and also creating a MOOC course platform that is unique in the Republic of Moldova, unique course of European integration with the help of our professors and the help of the professors of Tartu that brought more than 300 of participants. I think that it's a great success because it was open for majority of these institutions, not only educational institutions, but also public authorities. Of course, this success is due to the competencies and devotion of our professors and also coordinators from the Tartu University, Mr. Professor Stefano Bragheroli and Anna Bettini. Their enthusiasm, actually their competence, created this climate of cooperation, and of course the generous contribution of the staff, Estonian Agency for Development. Due to these facts, we have these successes that we're going to celebrate today. I think that it's like a start, and of course with this speech I think that we may say that officially we're opening the activities of our final conference today, and I have a great honor to invite our honorable guests to deliver their welcoming remarks and officially open our activities. And with great honor, I will pass the floor to the Vice Rector of Moldova State University for Economic Development and International Relations, PhD, Mr. Vladimir Doldy, please.
Thank you, Christina. Dear guests, dear colleagues, it's a great honor for me to see you all today here in this event. I would like to mention that all my ideas that I mentioned was told by Christina. It was, it was okay. I wouldn't say. It also was said. It also was said.
I'm sure we had a possibility to discuss in the future. We'll do it for sure.
First of all, I would like to say thank you very much to our partners. It's great honor for us to have you near to us, because this faculty is one of the biggest faculty in our university. I really obtained the great support from this faculty in my international relations. It is really beautiful team in this faculty. I'm not saying only about Mr. Dean or Miss Yedrova. So, Miss Teosia, it's not only them, it's a really great team in this faculty. And together with you, with your effort, with the effort of the University of Tallinn, this great project was realized. This year is not only marked with this project, but also with celebration of great event, celebration of the как это будет на английском языке? Anniversary of the faculty. It's, I would like to say that in this position of the Republic of Moldova of contributing and to become this effort, to become the part of European Union, it's really great to have this project in our university. This week we have the meeting in which was invited and also university by creating the social platform for discussing of the Euro integration. That's why by this meeting I disseminate this information for our professors from this faculty and involving to become the part of this social platform. Because you accumulated the great experience in this project that can be used like a base for your ideas, for your proposition of the idea of becoming the part of the European family. I would like to say you this this day to have the good meeting, the good event with the full of the discussions, fruitful discussion with the great results to become the step for the next projects. Thank you very much and welcome to State University of Moldova.
For delivering welcome remarks. Of course, today we will look forward to the events that we had last year, but of course today we will think about our future plans because it's very important to continue all our activities and to have a bigger result till we have right now. Okay, dear colleagues, we will continue our activities and with great pleasure I would like to often pass the floor to Dean of our faculty, who actually pursuing to the efforts of who we had so many possibilities to have different activities, activities where students were involved, professors were involved, and today it's also very important to underline that at the second part of the day we organize a workshop for the professors, not only of Moldovan State University, but also from the private universities who prepare their specialists in domain of political science and international relations to form competence in MOOC activities. Already we are going that we try to achieve a new level of video lectures, not only texts or different activities on Moodle. And our university, I think, is the first one in the Republic of Moldova due to the help of the Tartu University who achieved this goal. Thank you very much, Mr. Dean. The floor is yours.
Mulțumesc. Stimați rog, straduci, sunt bucuros să salut pe oaspeții noștri din Estonia, la Tartu.
I'm very happy to welcome our guests from Tartu University and our faculty.
Mă bucur că îi avem alături și partenerii noștri permanenți în Ministerul Afacerilor Externe.
And very glad to have a great pleasure to have today with us our partners from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs.
Și suportul permanent care l-avem din partea conducerii Universității Rectoratului.
And also thank you for continuous support that we have from the side of our rectorate.
Eu cred că participarea în acest proiect cu Universitatea din Tartu este o mare oportunitate, în primul rând pentru studenții noștri, cât și pentru profesori.
I'm confident that this cooperation with Tartu University and especially the projects that we develop is a great opportunity for both for our students and for our teachers.
Mă consider personal unul din beneficiarii proiectului. Cu această ocazie am avut posibilitatea să vizitez Universitatea de Tartu, să cunosc oamenii de acolo.
Mr. Dance is also one of the beneficiaries of this project, and here was a part of a study visit, and with this occasion we had this pleasure to visit the University of Tartu to participate in project activities.
Și dacă domnul proiector Dolghi vorbea despre echipa extraordinară Frișpa, eu am fost încântat de echipa cu care am comunicat la Tartu.
And if rector Mr. Dolghi underlined how great is the team of our faculty, Mr. Dean is very delighted to say that it is fond of energetic and beautiful team of University of Tartu.
Deci, eu mă bucur pentru cele două promoții de studenți de la cursul de master care au beneficiat de acest proiect și în acest an, anul 3 de la programul de licență la specialitatea relații internaționale.
And Mr. Dean is very happy that we had two generations of master students that benefited from cooperation in the project. And in this year it was for our bachelor students of international relations.
Vreau să zic că, din punctul meu de vedere, acest proiect este unul nu cu oportun, dar chiar și necesar.
These kinds of projects, they are not just interesting, but also they are very necessary.
Într-o lume unde parcă toate lucrurile au luat o razna, sunt niște poli sau niște centre care coalizează, care unesc.
Today, in the context when we live in a world where a lot of crazy things happening, we should have some certain goals of certainty and development.
Pentru mine, unul dintre aceste centre este inclusiv Estonia, la nivel politic, economic și moral.
And for Mr. Dins, one of his goals, centers, is Estonia from the point of view of political, economic, and cultural development.
De aceea mă bucur încă o dată că avem ocazia aceasta să ne revedem și mă bucur pentru studenții noștri, pentru discuțiile care vor urma și pentru, eu știu, plus valoarea care fiecare va merge în urma acestui proiect.
So once again, Mr. Dean is very happy to gather all together today here, and is happy for our students and the opportunities they have, and also it hopes that today's discussions will be fruitful, and also our further cooperation will be as well as fruitful.
Și eu cred că acest proiect a fost și de bun augur și a dat startul și altor idei sau viitoare proiecte.
And Mr. Dean is sure that this project is being successful. It is laid fundamentals for another interesting ideas and projects.
Eu cred că, nu știu cum să zic, întâmplător, dar de fapt nimic nu este întâmplător. Noi ne-am intersectat toamna asta cu diferite proiecte la Tartu.
So nothing happens just like that, and this fall we met at Tartu within different projects.
Am iarăși experiența extraordinară a Poloniei stă la baza unui proiect legat de comunicarea strategică.
So additionally to our project, Mr. Dean was on a visit to Tartu on the base of Poland initiative on the project of strategic communication.
Sperăm că comunicarea noastră, colaborarea noastră va continua pe diferite paliere.
So we hope that our communication and our cooperation will continue on different dimensions.
Bine ați revenit în Republica Moldova pentru cei care au mai fost și bine ați venit pentru cei care sunteți prima dată. De fapt, ați prins-o în timp exact ca la Tallinn, de asta are grijă.
So welcome back to Moldova, both who already have been in Moldova, and welcome in Moldova for our partners that are here for the first time. And you catch a very good weather like in Estonia. This is responsible for farmers. Thank you very much.
I think if it's possible, I hope that they will bring the snow. It's positive morning already. Yes, we need some snow weather here in the Republic of Moldova, but still, thank you very much. It's very important that today we have here very important institutions, our partners in development, student competence in the future, specialists in the domain of international relations. Actually, the Republic of Moldova for years has embassy in Estonia, and we cooperate very straight, fruitful in this domain. The alumni of our faculty also represented our state in this embassy. At the same time, we are very grateful for the support that Ministry of Foreign Affairs actually provide us. And for me personally, it's a great honor to pass the floor to Mihaela Manoli, head of Western, Central and Southern Europe section within the Bilateral Cooperation Directorate of Ministry of Foreign Affairs, person who actually is responsible for the bilateral cooperation between Republic of Moldova and Estonia. Please, Mrs. Manoli.
Thank you so much, dear Deputy Director, dear Dean of the Faculty, dear Mr. Zhov, dear Professor Tiosa, dear students, and most of all, guests from Estonia. I was thinking that by the time my turn comes, as all the most important ideas will be already targeted and exposed. But however, I would like to refer to connectivity, because this event where students and representatives of institutions and people from the academic area came together is a very good example of connectivity and shared values and our European perspective that we are aiming and striving for. And at the political level, Estonia has always been an ardent advocate of our European perspective. I didn't mean to mention, but Mr. Zhov mentioned about the embassy Moldova opened a long time ago. And it's like a half a secret, but not a real secret any longer, that Estonia is planning to open an embassy in Moldova, hopefully next year. We're working on that together. It took, how many, 17 years, but we're still very happy because we know that you're closing some embassies, but you're opening an embassy among other 4 or 5, also in Moldova. And this means that Moldova is really important to Estonia. As I said, at the political level, we have a very, very good dialogue. But the European perspective for Moldova is not only strategic choice, it's also societal commitment. So we're very glad when youth are coming together and are participating in such projects. And in such exchanges, we create bridges. We create bridges, first of all, between our students, but not only. So I hope that these bridges, these connectivities, they will last forever. Because I'm personally a graduate of the Bucharest University. And this morning I couldn't help not writing to my colleagues who are working now in the academic sphere in Bucharest about the new mayor of Bucharest. So I feel that after the years, we will write to each other, and maybe I'll congratulate you because we have a new mayor of Tallinn. You're coming from Tartu, I understand it's not influencing you directly, but I still want to congratulate because it took some time until the parties came together, and we're working on that. And even for us that are in Moldova, such achievements are important because there are countries who negotiate forever and it takes years. So congrats for you after the local elections. Tallinn has a mayor. Coming back to connectivity, I hope that the bridges that you're building together among professors, among students, among institutions, they will last forever. And I'm looking forward to many more projects like these. And please include the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, because at the ministry, as you said, I'm having the whole portfolio of Moldovan-Estonian relations, but not only. I have 44 countries It's all the European countries in my section except the former CIS, Azerbaijan, Armenia, Ukraine, and Belarus, and all the rest. And it gives you together a picture, like you mentioned, the Polish experience, but everything is interconnected. So I hope in the future, in order to have a clear picture and in order to give our President, Prime Minister, Minister of Foreign Affairs, when they're traveling, when they're promoting the projects, to give them a full and comprehensive pictures, please keep inviting us and we will gladly come. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Of course, we will continue our activity. Of course, we will put the ministry. We already will open the brackets, the Institute of Diplomatic Studies that works instead of the system of Minister of Foreign Affairs, also having today the new step of the project developed with Estonia. They're also working on strategic communication, and today they open these courses for the specialists in the ministry, at the same time with involving of academia. That is why I hope that we will find something common and will create a new and schedule the new plans of the common activities. And thank you very much. Today, Mr. Vizir is not present, but also sending his gratitude and his good disposition, as he said, to all the members of the project and to all our activities. The representatives of the Ministry of Education, of Research also was in a way here. She's also responsible for their part of the negotiation process with European Union, integration our educational system in Europe in one, and already have made great successes due to the help of a staff not only correlated with higher education but also with the school education museums. But something interfered. It's a very important meeting with the ministry, and she had to go back. She actually sends her gratitude for the invitation. And last year, as you remember, she was with us, and also they were interested in discussions of our new plans. But I hope in the second part of the day she's going to be with us. I think that right now it's the time to deliver and to pass the floor to our coordinator from the Tartu University. Due to the enthusiasm of whom we actually have the third successful project implemented in Moldova State University. With great honor, I pass the floor to the Dr. Stefan Bargeroli, Associate Professor of European Studies University.
Thank you so much. I will start by saying something that comes from the heart. It's a unique pleasure to be here once again. I think every time we come to Chisinau, every time we come to Moldova State University, every time we come to Frișpa, we feel among friends. And certainly this time, likewise. Want to start by thanking everyone who has made this possible. I mean, starting from, of course, the Tartu team that is here with us, Anna, which clearly, let's say, has been like the other engine of this project, and again, Roberta, who is not here with us today, Anastasia, Thomas, Miley, and all the others who contributed. But also, I would like to stress that, well, clearly, there wouldn't be these projects without our partners. That's very obvious. So I really want to thank all of you for making it happen. So again, for providing the input, for really being active participants in shaping this project and the past ones. So thanks Valentina, Alexandro, all of you who participated. Thanks also, of course, to the Moldova State University itself that has made this possible, and thanks also to all the students that we see here around that have been basically the beating heart of this project. Again, I think that we really need to owe a big thank to SDEF, without which this wouldn't have been possible. And again, there's put a lot of attention, there's taken a lot of interest in what you are doing. But also I want to take a bit of a moment just to thank also the Moldovan institutions. Beyond the university, again, you have been providing quite a lot of input to us. Again, we have tried to shape the project that we've been conducting so far on the basis of what have been the needs of Moldova. We have looked at the documents together, we have discussed it. So again, thanks a lot to the MFA for supporting us, in particular also to the Moldovan embassy in Tallinn, who has done an amazing job in supporting us, and the Ministry of Education. Now, as it was already mentioned, I mean, of course, it's always difficult to find things to mention. When you get at the fifth or sixth speeches, it's always difficult. But I really want to stress a few things. This has been indeed quite a long collaboration that we had. It's more than 10 years. this is something that, somehow started.
More than 15.
Exactly, I was about to say, I would still, 10 is more than 10. So I have to say that I moved to Tartu 15 years ago by now, and that's really when the old thing started. Maybe it was me, I don't know. No, in fact. So really, this has been a very long journey, and I think we really want to continue building on the shoulders of what has been already done. Maybe one thing is important that 3 years ago, I think like a new phase started. We started to work consistently with SDEF, the Estonian Development Cooperation Agency. And I think this coincides also with the new thing. So Moldova becoming a candidate to EU membership. So of course, let's say the focus and the commitment changed. And in a way that brought Moldova much closer to Estonia. I mean, yes, of course, as you said, history-wise and in terms of challenges, Estonia and Moldova shared and have shared a lot. But of course, again, being you now on the clear path to European integration also brings the two countries closer and closer together in a way that we can work together on a common future. While we are still working on snow, and I believe that by tomorrow we can work on delivering it, I think that maybe 5 things that the working together has brought. I think a lot of attention to European studies, which is not just, let's say, a discipline, but it's somehow shaping the future generation of European citizens. Innovative teaching methods, I think, is also something very important, because again, I think by working together, we can really craft, our and your teaching on the basis of what you need. Bringing people together, I think again, we have managed to bring, of course, our staff together, but we've also managed to bring students together. Tartu students, Moldova State University students, that really brought change, I think, for a long time. I also want to remind that we have an ongoing Erasmus agreement. So this is something that has been renewed, so everyone, students and staff are very welcome to come to visit us in Tartu. And also, ultimately, I think that when we talk about European integration in practice, when we talk about, let's say, building connection and so on, we also talk about democratic resilience. And I think especially in times difficult like this, democratic resilience is fundamental for a country that faces challenges, Moldova and Estonia. I also mentioned the last point, which I think is very important, especially with the last MOOC that we've been developing. I think that we are working on making Moldova State University a hub of innovation. We have launched the first massive open online course of this sort in the whole Moldova. It's about European integration, it's about Europeanization, and actually that got attention of national institutions in Moldova, in Estonia, and European institutions. For example, the EU delegation in Moldova took quite a lot of attention in this. So, just to conclude, we have done quite a lot. There are many projects, of course, but I really think that these projects that we are doing, by now we have Best for Me, CONNECT4MORE, and CONNECT4MORE. I think that the big plus is that somehow these are not just, let's say, something, let's produce some paper and so on. This is a real change, it's something very practical, it's something that affects people and affects institutions. And I think that today we celebrate our achievements, but we'll also continue our conversation on how to proceed and what further steps are needed. And again, I think really, in times of crisis, as Dean said, in times of crisis, in times in which uncertainties maybe crumble a little bit, those who think likewise need to stick together. And talking about snow, what do you do when it's cold? You get close to each other, you hug each other. So maybe that's what we want to do. And just to conclude with a good quote, which I think is always good. Churchill was still, after all, a nice guy. In bleaker times, he said, this is not the end. This is not even the beginning of the end, but this is perhaps the end of the beginning. So basically, I think that we have quite a lot still to go together. So thanks a lot and mulțumesc. Yes.
Having brought a wind of change here in the system of higher education and here at our department, but still the idea, we already have 3 projects, is going to be a little bit complicated to find the title, abbreviation for the new one. Yes, it was already best Connect. We will think about it, yes. Perhaps we'll ask Simon Anholt, yes, to help us a little bit with the collaborative branding campaign of Estonia at the beginning of the 20th century. Okay, of course, thank you very much. At last but not at least, if it's possible to ask Mrs. Tuosa, yes, to deliver her welcome remarks. She's the heart of this project, person who developed this cooperation between Moldova State University and University of Tartu for 15 years already. I told you from the right beginning more than 10, but it's actually 15 years. And perhaps you would like to say us how difficult it was, or it was actually very, very easy to work hard because you started with the first project, Best for More, and then I already continue as the local coordinator.
Thank
Mrs.
you.
Tuosa,
But
Professor.
I think before I say a few words, because really it was very, very, all topics, all aspects, all approaches were talked about. But I think that if Stefanos told something, Anna
I thought it was in Estonian class of government. I wanted Anna to be the last one
Yes,
person, not because she actually the person who developed digital cooperation. It was the possibility to change. I thought that Estonian but Bulgarian, but it's like yes, and then to deliver the words to Anna. But
Thank you
saying
for-
Mrs. Tuosa, if you think it's better.
Thank you for giving the floor. It's very difficult to follow a very passionate speech of Stefano, but I think I will follow very, Estonian tradition of being brief, but very thankful. I think that again, Stefano summarized everything very nicely. The only thing I can really add is that indeed it has been really a pleasure to collaborate with all of you, and I think SDEV is one of these projects where you can really see results pretty much almost immediately. I really enjoy working with this type of projects where you could directly talk to students, to teaching staff, to also see the impact and perspectives. And this event is all about that today, that we will also hear some testimonials. And it's really a two-way street because we really want to give also ownership to you, to shape these activities, not to come here and impose things, but actually shape this together. And I think that MOOC is, which is one, I think, of the main results of this project, is a very prime example of this collaboration because we really did that step by step. We conducted a teacher training, we shared our practices, but we also work collaboratively together on the lectures, on kind of training students. So in that regard, it really has been a pleasure. And yes, I'm very much looking forward to discussing how we can continue this collaboration in next projects. So.
Thank you very much. And I think we may continue. Mrs. Tuosa, please, if you would like to say some words.
Of course, with great pleasure. I am very happy that we have again I don't want to say guests, because those are our colleagues which are real Moldovan, Estonian Moldovans, and parts of Moldova State University, Frischla faculties. You are part of our collective and part of our department. Only a few moments, because you and everybody, our colleagues, and all talked about many different aspects. I want to say that really it is unique collaboration, bilateral collaboration, because from history, 30 years of our faculty, 3 decades our faculty has, more than a half we collaborate with Tartu University. And this is a fact which connect people. First of all, I see connection of people, of faculties. And I remember first persons which came, Eike Berg, Paul Yemets, first visits, Christina Tonison, our dean was a great connection between dean's offices, and of course Olga Bogdanova, 3 years, great collaboration when many our PhD students were involved in preparing, and now they are core of staff in our department, and thanks a lot for this collaboration. In European big project, FP7 Marie Curie People Exchange Project. And of course, when we started, by the way, Stefano was one of participants of this project, and this idea to continue and to bring something new, I am experienced in different types of projects. I want to say that these 3 projects, and in general we can speak about system of collaboration. What you proposed, it is something unique, because it was useful for teaching staff, for development of new methodologies of teaching of European studies and new approaches, and this direction of digitalization. We with Mr. Dean were surprised by how digitalization is involved in the education process for Moldova, and moreover possible for natural sciences and for mathematics it's another, but for our faculty it was of great importance. And sure, large including of our students, masters, and now grades, the best students from our faculty, from license, from first cycle. This is the same new. I think I finished first term, but it is not final of benefit of successes and results. Our colleagues did not stop on our faculty, on our university, but also we have now a network of this European study networking through perspective of digitalization and new methodology approaches through universities from Moldova. And this online experience of online teaching, here are professors, but they are only a part of, you by the way have a big team, the same as we have here, team of Estonian engaged teaching staff. You have the same Moldovan engaged teaching staff, and it is much more, they are not here present at all, unfortunately, but it is important that now teachers who studied your experience, and this project, by the way, your last, it is not last, I'm sure, but this which we are now come to the evaluation of results, it's something unique. And I want to say great thanks, Stefano and Anna, to you as persons which are, we can say, moving and initiative and ideas promotion, and all your team, Anastasia, Thomas, and Ronek, great, and others who are not. Please, our best regards to your colleagues from all the heart from Moldova State University. Thank you very much, and let's today generalize and plan new activities.
Very much. I think all the delivery remarks we already passed this stage. Now we'll start the new one. We will talk about the presentation of results of our project. We will see the results that we managed to achieve during this past year. And I think that I will pass the floor to Anna and to Stefano, yes, to talk about the results of the project.
So again, It's really great to be here, and we will try now to share a little bit about what we have been achieving, let's say beyond words, like, simply showing a little bit about our last project so far. So again, let's start with the acronym, because we had a few before, so best for me, as for more, and now we have CONNECT4MORE, so connecting Estonia and Moldova for European readiness and innovative education. Again, it says two things. One, of course, the focus on education, and the other one is on European integration. So once again, about this democratic resilience, making, let's say, Europeanization central to Moldovan path. So now, in terms of what were the key objectives of CONNECT4MORE, we are first of all, again, to support the digital transformation of Moldova. It basically means that somehow, not only in terms of in-class education, which maybe we've been in the past, we've been doing in the past, but also in terms of projecting the voice of Moldova State University through digital means. That includes also, for example, again, the development of online courses, especially this is the case of MOOC, and I will certainly say a lot more about that. Then the other one, of course, was like, in working once again on strengthening, developing the roots of teaching and education when it comes again to professional development of teachers, both in terms of, let's say, knowledge of European studies, but also primarily in terms of digital skills. The other thing was, again, to focus on students. I mean, again, the students of today are literally, let's say, the cement which will build a stronger, more resilient, more European society tomorrow. So that's why we focused on, and here the idea was to develop European studies focus, but also, again, to foster democratic awareness, work on resilience, and again, and this is the last point, I would say, for the first time we managed to bring together Estonian students and Moldovan students to work on the same projects. And I think this is something that really came out from the past year. And this really says, when we discuss ideas to work together, we said, okay, well, it would be good if our students would meet the Estonian students work together. This is really when it appeared and came out. Now, our magic team. I will start from the bottom. We have our friends from Moldova State University. I mean, we had Christina Job, who did a huge job to kind of, coordinate the project. We have, let's say, the old team members, Cristina Morari, Valentina, again, you radiated knowledge and inspiration, and of course, Din Solcan, and so on and so forth. And from Tartu, we had...
Stefana, may I add our colleagues, Irina Nicolaescu, Irina Kozukai, and
yeah, they will appear, they will be mentioned.
Okay.
Every part, believe me, no one is left behind. Okay. Yeah. Of course. Also because, again, we have beautiful pictures which you can show that they were there. So no worry. And then again, we had a very nice team from Tartu, Anne and Miley, who took care of the track first, which was primarily on the teachers training and digital skills. And then we had myself and Ronek, who worked on track 2, that was primarily working with students. And then again, I really want to thank Roberta, who sadly cannot be with us today, but certainly morally and spirit-wise is with us. Who made basically the whole infrastructural machine work. Without her, we wouldn't have a booking, we would have to walk to Moldova, so it was really good that, she was there.
And of course, we also had other collaborators here, lecturers who contributed to teacher training, Thomas and Anastasia, who helped to the MOOC, so otherwise the slide will be very long the next time.
And by the way, here you can admire the beauty of the logo as it came out. Now, in terms of the project activities, primarily these are divided into two main tracks. The first track works on pedagogies, let's say both in terms of student-centered pedagogies, but also, let's say, on the digital focus. Again, it primarily worked on developing the skills and also developing practical implications of that. For example, again, online teaching and online course. The second track was basically focused on teaching and learning, but this time when it comes to students, and focusing also on intercultural competence and transferable skills by interacting with fellow Moldovan and Estonian students. Now, Anna will say more about track 1, then I'll come back.
Yeah, so of course here we have a very big, let's say, like learning outcome, right? That's what we would like to achieve to develop the new digital and inclusive pedagogies. But there are certain steps that we need to take in order to achieve that bigger goal. So, and as with the previous projects, the first thing we did, actually I would like to also thank those who were in the previous meeting, because it was very useful for us to also collect your feedback, your ideas, so it was not something just formal to tick the box, but we took a lot of notes, and actually on the basis of that we also drafted these ideas, and as Stefan mentioned, there are several key documents like Education 2030, European Moldova, so all of these aims and ideas also stem from these documents, so we're really trying to draft them based on these, let's say, need analysis. Going back to this first track, we had several activities in mind. Our bigger goal was, of course, to develop the massive open online course, Moldovan and EU integration, which is also worth 1 ECTS. But in order to do that, we also wanted to really co-design it together. So we first implemented teacher training, and it also was divided into two kind of sub components. The first one that Christina has already mentioned was targeted at the broader audience, more lectures, not just from Moldova State University, but pretty much across Moldova. And then we had more intensive, customized training for teaching staff at Moldova State University. This was done to kind of ensure that what we do is also further integrated in the practices of Moldova State University. And then, of course, subsequently, after developing the massive open online course and teacher training, we also developed some open educational materials that could, live after the end of this project. And now I will just comment a little bit more on each activity in more detail. So as I mentioned, we started in May with our online session. I believe we had over 98 registrations, and a lot of people also received a certificate, around 68, which is, I think, quite a good result, considering that this is an online training and it's very hard to perhaps pay that attention from the teaching staff. And this was really an introductory webinar just to give an idea to lecturers what is the massive open online course, how it is different from blended learning, let's say what are the main instructional design theories, and things like that. So it really helped to lay this foundation, and then later on for more customized training, we already had a good foundation to start from. So, the feedback that we received from this training, I think we had at least, I think here 28 responses, which is also not that bad considering that everyone fills out feedback, sadly, as we know. But quite many people were satisfied with the overall quality of the online training, and they also found the content useful to their professional needs, which also leaves us with, let's say, a good feeling that it was useful. Now, after this online training, it was followed up by in-person training for teaching staff from your faculty. So we have everyone here, and we really tried to customize this training, not just to fill it up with, let's say, lectures, which are of course very useful, but as Anastasia can later confirm to you, there were also some useful workshops, really hands-off workshops that allowed teaching staff to directly test how Moodle works, how to film lectures, how to write a script. And then we also had the chance to film video lectures and also to test how to do this. And I'm sure you'll hear some testimonials. It's can be also quite intimidating to do that in front of the camera. But in addition to our in-class training, we went to a couple of, let's say, field trips. One of them was Ministry of Education of Estonia. Here you can see our former colleague and head of academic affairs, Olga Bogdanova. We also went to Tallinn, where we went to the Eduspace lab, and we had like a little robotics workshop. And we also met with with the representative of Estonian Quality Agency for Education, who is basically a person who worked on the quality assurance criteria for the courses. So it was also extremely useful. So, basically these are the main kind of learning outcomes, what we hope to achieve. As I already mentioned to you, we wanted to highlight the main principles working and teaching with the MOOC, to talk about online assessment, and to really train and showcase how to exactly prepare a lecture for video format, because it requires a particular style. We know that writing scripts and articulating something, Stefano can also confirm, and I think also Cristina Morari can tell you that it requires a certain customization techniques. So, and here we are in our studio, in our institute. So, I have here these testimonials from the teaching staff, but maybe I just also ask Anastasia to comment on your workshop and how it was like to lead actually a couple of workshops.
Yeah, I will just tell a few words about what was the goal of the workshop. So basically, I had conducted 2 workshops within this 1 week intense training of our colleagues. And one of them was dedicated to recording of video lectures and basically introduced some key elements, what to keep in mind if you are in the studio, or maybe if you want to do the recording at home, because again, not everyone has access to the studio, and at the same time you don't really need it if you can also record it from your computer, and then still having your video recorded brings additional value because you can use it afterwards in multiple settings. So we just wanted to kind of give a little bit of introduction to what does it mean to record nice and high quality video lecture, and what to pay attention to when you do it. So we came up with a small exercise when basically we split our colleagues into pairs and asked them to produce a few videos. I think we gave them maybe half an hour, so they had the chance to basically go around the institute or outside, find a good location with a good lighting, good background, and deliver a short lecture. It didn't have to be half an hour, which is 1 minute, I think a few minutes in some cases, just to kind of test it out, because I think the next day we had the recordings at the studio scheduled actually, so we wanted to give them a little bit.
It's always painful to look at your own video and to hear your voice.
Yes, and that's what we did afterwards. So after the recordings, we put the videos on the screen and then discussed what was done well, what can be improved or maybe changed the next time, because then one thing is to do the recording and see it on the small screen, and another thing is to see it on the bigger screen, and then you just get this kind of third perspective or third person view, and you notice what you need to pay attention to. So that was very fun as well. I think overall feedback was also very, very positive, even though I know it can be intimidating, as I mentioned before. But again, we are here to train and to see what can be kind of like improved eventually. So, and the second workshop was regarding the, well, it was like more about the course design and how to align the assignments and learning objectives and activities in the course. So it was a bit more technical, maybe a little bit less fun, but still, still important. Yes, thank you.
Yeah, thank you also to Anastasia, and really, I think it was quite a nice package that we managed to put together. And as I mentioned, we also visited our colleagues in Tallinn, because Tallinn University has one of the also strongest competencies when it comes to pedagogical training. So, and they have this special dedicated EduSpace lab that I think is filled with all the technology to really go and test how things work. So we did a little robotics exercise and also kind of learned about their perspective. They of course also talked about AI in education and how that also impacts online assessment, etc. So it was also useful to not only for, I think, our Moldovan colleagues, but also even for us to learn what our colleagues are doing in other departments. Now, after all of this training, we had pretty much the whole summer working on the online MOOC. So it consisted of 4 modules. And we really, the most important kind of aim of this MOOC was to provide the main, let's say, fundamentals about EU integration, accession process, and also to add a bit of special flavor when it comes to particularly Moldova's path, but then also to share Estonia's lessons learned. Of course, you know, it's also not always right to completely compare the experiences. Obviously, EU changed, but still certain lessons learned and past examples could be helpful. So we talked about the EU enlargement process, then we talked about the role of EU institutions, EU-Moldova relations, and then the last part was more for comparative outlook. The course is in English, but our colleagues provided also Romanian subtitles, so all video lectures have Romanian subtitles. And the main, let's say, assessment is quite straightforward. We have 4 multiple choice quizzes that are automatically graded. Then there is a forum contribution for each module, and then the final test at the end of the course. We really wanted to add the element of forum, and actually it was extremely popular. I think I received over 300 notifications in my mailbox every day, but I was quite happy that actually there was a lot of engagement. So it was, I wouldn't say it was quite artificial, because participants not only just provided answers to the question that we posed, but also started new discussions and commented on each other's contributions, which I think was very nice point. So yeah, this is again the learning outcomes that we expected from the course. I also listed here our lectures, which of course includes our CONNECT4MORE team, but we were also very lucky to have a contribution from Moldovan ambassador to Estonia, who kindly agreed, and Ambassador Garas, who gave us an interview, and also a video lecture with Alar Streiman, who was a former negotiator, right? So, and now, of course, works for the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and he's also visiting professor at our institute. So he's really a person who was, let's say, at the front line of negotiations, and
at the moment he's also working quite actively to support the Ukrainian path to European Union.
Yes, so it was really a pleasure also to have his interview and perspective. This is just a very short preview of how the video lecture looked like. Sorry, Stefano, for putting you on the spot. And those who are interested to see how the course looks like, there is a guest access, so you can also scan the QR code. and then use just the guest access and go and see how the course looks like, or you can always email me and I can add you to the course. But actually, just to maybe give you a bit of a sneak peek, we're thinking about maybe also continuing this practice, maybe another future project, because it was really a success. As you can see, the numbers are quite impressive. We had 348 people who registered. We were very humbly putting 100 participants as a deliverable. So I think we really exceeded the numbers. And as Stefan pointed out, even the EU delegation in Moldova shared our post about the MOOC, which was really very nice.
We had an official comment by the director of SDEB, which was, whoa!
And this
We are
one
so
from
happy.
here is very important. Is the same director?
These are the, yeah, these are the news that we want to receive, quote. Yeah,
So this is really a really positive outcome, and what is even more positive, that 200 people actually graduated from the course, because the average graduation rate for MOOC is around maybe 10% or so. So this is really extraordinary, I would say, that we had around 54 or so percent of graduation rate. And we received around 94 responses to the online survey as well. So this is quite good. Maybe very briefly to highlight what we also saw as a feedback from participants. So I think that it's safe to say that the participants were they believe that the content that was presented was very useful and met their expectations. That they believe that the course improved their knowledge and understanding of the topic, and they would certainly recommend this course to others. So we're also now working a little bit more to analyze the feedback, because of course we didn't just ask them to rate the course, but we also collected qualitative feedback. So we had, for example, had a question, what you would improve if you would be the author of the course. So we also received quite a lot of suggestions. So this is something that we definitely will bring on board for the future opening. And here there are also some testimonials. So I guess I will now give the floor to Stefan. I don't know how long.
Yeah, maybe before jumping on this, I still really want to stress one thing about this MOOC. I really think that it's certainly something that we need to continue. I mean, I think that, it's there. Literally making it, let's say, go on for the next years comes really at a very small cost, if no zero cost. And I think it really kind of, it's a great opportunity also for Moldova State University to be visible beyond Moldova even, and also to maybe enroll your future students, to attract people who maybe are less aware of your program and so on. So it's really a very good tool to make it central.
One last thing to add is that out of these 348 people, of course, we had students, but also a lot of people from ministries. So I also had a pre-course survey, so we saw that it really reached also beyond just the faculty, which is a good thing, because this is a course that was also aimed for everyone who is interested really in the course. I think we also had a couple of people from the Bureau of EU Integration, some NGOs as well, so it was really.
And even people from abroad, because that's also interesting. They want to know more about Moldova. So
because initially this course was aimed, let's say, only for participants from Moldova, but we also thought, well, if someone from Estonia or
from Germany wants to go, why not?
Germany, why not? I think there was also quite a sufficient interest from participants from other countries. Okay, sorry.
So no. Well, actually, I myself stayed there. So I will focus a bit more on track 2, which is the one that has to do, let's say, with less digital, although still quite a bit digital. Connection between, let's say, Estonia and Moldova, specifically when it comes to students. And here again, if CONNECT and also Thomas, who in fact was involved also part in the development of, and in the teaching part, want to add something. very welcome to do so. So this took the shape of a BIP, which stands for Blended Intensive Program. It basically means somehow that students are involved in two different ways, and of course students after will be able to share a bit about that. So the first part is about somehow the digital part of teaching, the digital part of training, and then somehow in-person experiencing in Tartu and in Estonia. Again, what is important to stress this time is that when we talk about students, we talk about 20 students, 10 from Moldova State University and 10 from University of Tartu. We started working together already in digital. We started with basically three online sessions following introductory ones. One was about the impact of enlargement on institutional structure and functioning of the European Union. The other one was on foreign policy and security, and the third one was on impact of history on, let's say, current path of Estonia and Moldova. And here I want to really thank the ones who were involved, Thomas, Ronek, and David Beecher, who is not here with us, but contributed to the last one on history and how that represents into today's path. Now, after having worked together in digital in the previous semester, the 10 students from Moldova and from Tartu University met in person in Estonia. They met in September, and what basically this implied was basically an entire week spent together. The first part was in Tartu, from Monday to Wednesday. Estonian student from Tartu student from Shooting Institute and Moldova State University students worked together. They attended a few additional classes. They worked together, worked on projects. There were 5 projects from very relevant aspects, from, let's say, disinformation to, let's say, the difficulties of EU negotiations, to basically, for example, geopolitics. And then they presented their works on Thursday. We all remember it because we're really very inspired by their presentations. Here, yes, we have an evidence of the presentation. They were there, they were doing it. Now we can return before sneak peeking here. And then basically on Friday and Saturday, we went to Tallinn and we tried really good to look in practice how things work. We visited the Estonian Parliament, the Moldovan Embassy. Again, I really want to thank Ambassador Karas for being there, SDEV, and the EU House where we had the simulation of the European Parliament. If we go to the picture, we can show that this really happened. Well, first of all, here is the mixed group. I also want to thank not only the students, but the ones who, let's say, took care of the students, Vladimir and Christina. And then here we are in front, let's say, behind the Shooting Institute, and here we have Estonian and Moldovan students. Then we went to Tallinn. Here we are at the Europe House, before the European Parliament simulation. I also want to stress that some Estonian students even joined in Tallinn with the Moldovan zone, although they weren't forced, so they did it out of their pure pleasure. And then we can move on from here. Yes, we also had a really nice and effective cooperation with the Society of International Relations, which is in Estonian is Rahvusvaheliste Suhete Ring, as you might probably understand, it's such an intuitive. And they organized, they're basically a completely students-led organization, which work on international relations, debates, and so on. And they, it's one of them is from the 80s.
No, even
What, even?
Yeah.
In 60s,
No.
70s. Anyway, long, yes. And they came to Moldova the past year to visit. Every year they organize a visit somewhere in Europe. And they came to Moldova, they were so interested and impressed, they decided to get in touch and to work with us. So they organized this very nice panel, a time for choosing Europe and Moldovan identity. I was very happy to contribute myself to the conversation, and then we had 2 students from Moldova State University, who I see some faces here, yes, exactly. And we really had a very nice conversation. And after that, there was a discussion with the Estonian students and so on. Now, in terms of feedback clearly as the result.
That's what you brought.
Yeah,
We will
that-
hear later how much it.
That looks like the result of a Belarusian election, but in fact, it's reality. I mean, the feedback was anonymous, but 100%, that's the level of satisfaction that we want. And same here, when it comes to the quality of lecture, no one was forced, they were anonymous. And then here we have, let's see, here it's a bit much, but still, I would say between considerable and significant, certainly the visit has improved quite a lot in terms of, impact. And then we have, again, in terms of the visits that we had in Tallinn, again, Moldovan embassy, Estonian parliament, as that, and it seems that two really kind of, left a mark. One is the European Parliament's inauguration, and despite the cold and despite the tiredness, it seems the top rated is the walking tour in Tallinn. Now, again,
Maybe just a long.
yeah, maybe just really one thing. I think that the two main things that were appreciated were, on the one hand, connecting, let's say, class learning with practical experiencing. That was point number one. And I think the other one is really the interaction between Moldova State University students and Tartu students, because as far as I know, a few people are still in touch, and this is not, let's say, only when you learn things together, but also when maybe friendships start and last for a long time. Yes, and here we are.
And today we're reaching our last activity
And
of
last
this
time.
project, yeah. So, and just to kind of also maybe mention this, this is written in the slide as well. Today we're here to reflect on this experience, to actually collect also your feedback, because later on we will be brainstorming with the team to think how we can continue our collaboration. And another output is when I was talking about owning the project results, is a teacher training in the second half of the day, where lecturers who took part in Tartu training would be teaching their colleagues, so on the basis of what they managed to learn in Tartu. So this is kind of, I think, also a nice follow-up.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask to Thomas and Ron, if they wanted to, maybe, let's say, since they also interacted with students and so on, if they would like to add something, like.
I mean, very briefly.
Yeah.
I just wanted to pick up on what you said about not only having the kind of class discussions, but also discussions in groups. I find that the presentations all were very well made. Not only from the point of view of these academic contributions, but also they went beyond cliches and actually provided some kind of meaningful input that is actually usable in practice. And not to mention that the visuals of the slides were very well made, so I have to really come. It was very engaging, and I think here is something that Estonian students can definitely pick up from Moldovan students, actually. And also, I think I would just like to stress that the engagement between peers is very important, because right now, I mean, you're all students. But learning from each other about cultures, not only Estonia, Moldova, but also other cultures that we had there, I mean, the French, the Slovaks, whatever, and working together on the project. But in the future, you will be actually going to be colleagues as such. I mean, it's not only about being students, but in the future, you will have these international professional connections that you can already utilize. So I would really stress the importance of this actual connections between students and this kind of projects.
Yeah, maybe just a word. I mean, on the format there, and I think there you bring in this digital component in a way, and I found that particularly interesting, also useful to have this digital component and an on-site component, where you then can combine communication. I mean, for me, the digital part is also something that sometimes is a bit of a headache. I have to think about how to plan it, and that you can actually have conversations and the like. But in a way, it's a super useful way of facilitating communication over long distance. It's very easy, very cheap in a way, and you can have these conversation exchanges. So I hope that this is also something that will stick and that we can also use, in further formats, kind of to have or continue these exchanges directly between students and then also, of course, between teaching staff and students through digital means.
Thank you. Yes, thank you. I think we can go to the mood semester. Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you.
Dear colleagues, thank you very much.
Thank you.
I think, yes, we may make a small break, yes, of the cup of tea and coffee, and then we will continue with students' testimonials. Yes, if you agree, dear colleagues?
Sounds
Thank
good.
you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you.